Hi there, my name is Greg. You're here in my kitchen in Vancouver, BC. I'm gonna try to give you some pointers and give you some recipes of mine that I heard from my mom, but also that I created. So this is gonna be the first one, and the first one we're gonna do of this series is the French onion soup. Recipe taught by my mom that I modified a little bit over the years. Just don't tell her. And yeah, that should be good, so I hope you like it, and you're gonna enjoy making food and eating what you made. La soupe à l'oignon! So, to make this French onion soup, we're gonna need, of course, onion, but already peeled to save some time. We're gonna need one little piece of garlic here. We're gonna need some bread for the croutons. We're gonna need some flour. We're gonna need some garlic powder, some spicy oil, some salted butter, not this unsalted crab, but just some real nice salted butter, and some beef broth here. So that's all we need. And we're gonna start by cutting the onions. So the best way to cut onions is actually to use a slap chop. Not because it's not gonna make you cry, but let's face it, it's gonna make you cry less longer than a freaking knife. So what I do, I usually cut my onion in four like this with my knife. I'm gonna take two pieces. And I'm gonna put my slap chop for one piece in that case, because of course eating will work. And I'm gonna put my slap chop, and I'm gonna chop the onions as thin as possible. So I go. So what I forgot to mention here is we're actually cooking for 4 persons. So what you want is 5 onions for 4 people is usually enough. Okay, if you have people with big appetite, go nuts, bring more onions, go for it. We're gonna start cooking the onions in this pot. I put the heat almost at the maximum, not high, but close to. Okay, so what are we gonna do? And it's very important. We're gonna want to melt the onions first before adding the butter. Most people add the butter right away, but I think to me it's a mistake. What I want is remove as much water as possible from the onions before adding the butter and make them, you know, goldish. So here you go. I found some big piece, so this is going in the garbage. We don't need that. So your hands are clean. Put your hands in the food, no problem. So that's the thing. We want to reduce and remove as much water as possible. Otherwise you're gonna just have this white-ish cream made of onion juice and butter, and nothing is gonna cook correctly. That's the way it is. What I have ready and handy here is my flour here. I have water, boiling water, almost boiled water in this kettle here, and my beef broth already ready. So it's gonna take a few minutes to warm up, and we're gonna let the onions reduce on their own. Voila. So this is starting, okay? It's starting to warm up, it's nice and slow. Don't panic with the water, and you will not overcook the onions right away. So it takes actually quite a few minutes. So let's hope we have a good visual here. Yeah, looks pretty good. So what are we gonna do? What we're gonna want is a nice chunk of salted butter, because yeah, we're cooking fresh food here, French food. So don't be silly, be generous. Okay, at least I'm gonna put at least that. Okay, now depending on how it looks inside the pot, I may add more. By I may, I was like, I probably add more. That's almost sure. Okay, So we don't want the onions to burn. So if we don't want the onions to burn, the easy thing to do is actually just mix them like gently. Okay. Okay, we're close to what we want. I had to put the van on because it's getting foggy in here. But hopefully you can see properly how it's becoming. Okay, it's reducing quite a lot in the last 2 or 3 minutes. We are not quite there yet, but we're getting there. We need another few minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do during this time, I'm going to prep my butter. I'm not going to put one big chunk of butter in my onions like that. I'm going to put different pieces this size, so I can put them everywhere. Okay. During that time, I actually boiled some water in the kibble over there, because when I add my water to the onion soup, I don't want cold water at all. I don't want the onion to freak out because they're gonna be hot, and you don't want to shock them with cold water. So I actually boiled some water, and it's gonna be good. Okay, so now here we are. As you can see right there, that's pretty much what we want. This consistency like that. So we're gonna add my butter a little bit everywhere. Probably at the bottom of the pan, here and forth. Okay, gonna let it melt for a few seconds, and now I'm gonna start mixing. Okay, you see. Well, it's starting to smell good, actually. You cannot smell in the video, of course, but this is also what's gonna tell you when to stop. Your sense of smell. You need to really look at it and smell it. You don't want to burn them. What you want, it's nice gold color of your onion. Okay, so this is what we are trying to achieve here. So here we are. That's exactly what you want. It's nice and goldy, and now I'm gonna stop that for a second. Now we're gonna start one of the most crucial moment of cooking the onion soup. Is where we're gonna add the flour. Okay, some white flour. We're gonna one handful in there, and another half handful. Okay, be generous about it. Don't be shy. There's nothing shy. Nothing shy in French cuisine. We're gonna have to cut that. Don't be shy. That's it. So here, what's gonna happen? The flour is gonna make everything dry up, and so we're gonna have kind of a paste that's gonna form itself here. Okay. You have to be really careful. I put down the heat to half here, because that can go really quick between nicely cooked and burned. Okay, so we are still looking for this gold-ish, you know, almost like the color of the package here, kind of color, but not brown. That's also another mistake that most of people do. They burn their onions at this step here, and it's not good. Okay, so I'd say we're pretty good here. Another maybe couple of minutes. Okay, how does it smell? It smells pretty good. We're gonna put it on the side. We don't want to keep cooking, so I'm gonna grab the water, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the water until I have a nice consistency, I'd say. Okay, so go. Knowing that you're gonna lose, of course, some water after when we cook the onion soup, we're gonna lose a bunch of water here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. You can see exactly what we have here. Pretty much almost 2 liters added, just to give you around the 1.5 liter mark. Okay, I'm gonna clean a little bit here because it's a mess. Okay, now I make sure nothing is sticking at the bottom of the pan. That's why I have this wood tool here, and make sure that nothing is stinging at the bottom. Okay, and I'm gonna use another tool, which is this guy here. Okay, this guy, because the flour tend to stick together, right? So it's like making crepes basically. You don't want any ball or thingy of flour here and there. So you use that. That's the perfect tool. You can see that came back almost clean, so it's pretty good. Okay, now chicken broth. Be very careful with this guy here because it's very salty, and if you're like me, you're watching how much salt you're having every day. You don't want to put too much. So advice is 1.5 of this 1.5 teaspoon of beef broth, like that should be enough. Okay, so we're gonna again mix all that. Okay, and it could happen you put too much. Now it depends of who is eating the soup and etc. But usually 1.5 is pretty good. The other ingredients that you're gonna want for an onion soup, because it's a winter dish mostly, is black pepper. Okay, and you have to be very generous. And people with cold and and being sick, and they're gonna thank you for that, because it's gonna clear the sinuses in no freaking time. So here you go again, a little bit more. I like it. Okay, so it's pretty good. So this is pretty much it. Here the heat is halfway, okay, and we're gonna let that cook like this. Even I can put it down a bit, the heat, I put it down, and we're gonna let it cook like this for 45 minutes. Okay, 45 minutes, and after these 45 minutes, we may or may not have to add more water to it. Who knows? Well, it's gonna be the surprise. So we have 45 minutes to do something. We're not going to spend this 45 minutes drinking wine and sitting on the sofa and watching the news. I wish, but no. What we're gonna do, my special croutons. Because onion soup without croutons, meh, it's not really onion soup. So we're gonna make the spicy garlic croutons that I created, and you will see it's very easy. All you need is some bread, some garlic powder, spicy oil, and a toaster oven. That's it. Okay? Let's do this. So this is the way I'm gonna cut them. So what I want is a nice big piece of bread. Okay? Now the shape itself doesn't really matter. Okay? So I want this nice big piece of croutons cook on my grill. That I'm gonna use only if I need more. Okay, so again, a nice piece of ciabatta, croutons, here we are. Okay, so then my croutons, put them on this pan here. took this up, this, and I can tell right away it's not enough for 2 people. That is sure. So since I saved of the ciabatta here, I'm gonna cut a couple more pieces of it, and I'm gonna add them to my. Oh, this is not great. I'll fix this one. There you go, much better. Okay, next, the garlic batter, the garlic powder. Sounds like I have already a lot of French accent, but I can make it worse. You'll see. So in I go, generous. I am generous with the garlic powder. Okay, it's very fire up. A bit more here. And this is spicy oil. It's chili olive oil. Exactly, that's how it's called. It's quite spicy, so that's why it has like a dispenser like that, and I just go like this. On each one of them I'm gonna put a couple of drops. Remember when I told you you can always do something when the soup is cooking or the croutons are toasting or whatever. So you're gonna have to put some cheese on top of your croutons. That would be the way to go. Some people are saying that you should put Emmental or whatever, Swiss cheese or whatever Swiss cheese you can find, but I'm okay to mix things up a little bit. Okay, so I have some Swiss cheese here. I'm gonna grate here like this, and because I don't have much left, I'm gonna do all of it. Okay. So by mixing it up, I mean, have some really good Parmesan here, Parmesan cheese. So, why not? Swiss cheese Parmesan sounds pretty good to me. So, go for it. So there you go. This is 30 minutes. 31 minutes even. Consistency is pretty good, but we still have 15 minutes to go. So this can change again. You may have to add more water, so be ready. So what are we going to do without burning our tongue, which is in that case mine? We're going to test it out and see if we are missing some stuff, like beef broth or pepper or anything. Okay, so don't burn yourself. So it's really silky, it's really good, you can really taste the onion, but it's missing this kick. Okay, so the kick is gonna come from 2 things. The beef broth, so we're gonna add another 1 teaspoon of it, and of course the pepper. Okay, so be generous with the pepper. Pepper is your friend. Go for it, and we mix. Okay. If you start sneezing like I want to sneeze right now, it's a good sign. It means there is enough pepper in there, and I should work quite well. So we mix. So the beef broth goes a little bit everywhere. Okay, and we're gonna try it out again. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I say the beef broth, done. Pepper, a little bit more. Okay, there you go. Because beef broth is very, very salty, so pepper is going to actually, balance everything out and really, really, really clear your sinuses out down the road. Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. Smells nice and peppery. Okay. So here we go, we're almost done. So I chose to use this fancy bowls to put the onion soup in there. So I'm gonna use the croutons I made earlier. The very nice croutons with garlic and spicy oil, and just put it on top like this. You can try to jam as many as I can in there. Okay, and in this one too. And one more, just for the fun. Okay, but now I'm gonna take also the mix of cheese that I also prepared earlier, and I'm just gonna put on top like this. Here you go. Again, don't be shy. The more cheese, the better. So this is gonna go in the toaster oven here, like this, for a few minutes. And that's it. Okay guys, this is done. This is exactly what you want right here. Nice color, nice cheese melted. Okay guys, so this is the French onion soup for you. Don't forget to look for the next recipe I'm gonna put online. And if you have any question, you can put the question in the comment below. And hope to see you soon.